speak English really well when I'm talking to my teachers or to my friends. But when I have to talk to a native speaker, I can't. I don't know what to say. Hey guys, Teacher Prix here to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Today we are going to talk about a problem many of you have, which is to talk to native speakers. So speaking in public is difficult, whether you are speaking English or not. Okay, this is a challenge for many of us. I sometimes get nervous when I am talking in public, especially if I'm talking in public in a place I don't know people or if it's for the first time. So we have the emotional challenge here when we are talking to someone we don't know very well. It feels like you can talk to anybody, teacher, friends, your classmates, your co-workers, but when you have to talk to a native speaker, oh my God, you can't remember anything, you forget all the words, you can't understand the native speaker, it's a disaster. So I want to share with you here the 4 whys, why we don't understand them, why we can't really speak, what happens here. So the first why, they don't speak your language. First, because we know they do not speak our language in most cases. We feel that we might say something they cannot understand. Then we start to worry about a possible misunderstanding and that awkward, uncomfortable few seconds when both of you look at each other without understanding anything. Another why, you are too worried about not understanding the native speaker. You understand your teacher 100%, your friends 100%, but not the native speaker. The fact that the native speaker doesn't speak your language and you are too worried about not being understood or not understanding the native speaker will make you freeze. And because of that, you will feel stuck and your English will not flow, okay? It's not going to happen. Why do we feel this way? Is it our English? Is it really bad? Is our speaking really bad? Is our listening really bad? What do we need to do? What do I do? Your English is probably not as bad as you think it is, okay? That's not really the main problem here, but your mindset. Your mindset might be. So here the problem is not necessarily the language. Of course, that depending on your level, it might be. But depending on your level, the problem is here, the mindset. The problem is when you let that feeling take over you, control you. There's nothing wrong with asking to repeating a question, speaking more slowly, saying it again, explaining it again. But we feel bad about that. We feel bad about the fact of asking to repeat, or of the possibility of asking to repeat, to say it again, to say one more time, to explain in a different way. We feel bad. We feel like we should not do that. We can't do that. We have to understand the first time they say it. And all of these negative feelings block our English. Whenever we don't understand them immediately, right away, we get so nervous, so upset, so angry that we get stuck, we get tense. Okay, oh no, here we're like, yeah, sure, but here we're like, oh my God, I can't understand them. And then the rest of the conversation will be horrible. You will go home feeling like you're awful, and you shouldn't feel this way. What is my advice here? Relax. I know it's difficult. It's not so easy. Oh, Priscilla, you're telling me to relax. I can't. It is hard. I've been there, okay? But if you don't relax, if you don't take a deep breath, you're never gonna overcome this. You're never gonna get over this feeling. When you're talking to a friend or to a teacher and you make a mistake, you feel safe because you know that this friend will not judge you. Well, let me tell you one thing, the native speaker is not gonna judge you either. He doesn't really care if you made a mistake. He cares if he can't understand, and he'll ask you to repeat. And in this situation, because we are feeling bad, our brain starts to feel in danger, like threatened in this situation. And consequently, it goes to defense mode. Another why. You weren't really prepared. Yes, guys, this is a possibility. But what do you mean, Prix? Prepared. I take classes, I take conversation classes, I watch movies, I do listening exercises, I listen to music, I watch the news. How come? You may feel prepared, but are you really prepared? If you talked to a native speaker about general subjects, how was your day, the weekend, life, things you are used to talking about, things you feel comfortable talking about to your friends and teachers, and you got nervous and you couldn't communicate, then yes, you were prepared. You really were prepared for that. So in this case, the problem was just the emotions. So work on your emotions, working on relaxing. In many cases, we can't communicate to native speakers because we are talking about specific subjects. That's when we go on defense mode because we were not really prepared for that. We were not prepared for that question. This happens a lot in work environments. We sometimes prepare for work to talk about a specific client, but we don't prepare for a random question. Hey, can you give me directions to the nearest supermarket? There's this snack I want to buy. Or to the nearest drugstore. And then you're like, oh my god, directions! I hate directions, right? Left? So in this case, it was a work environment. We were prepared to talk about work. Yeah, let's talk about work. But then he asks us questions about the countryside of your state. I know nothing about it. So that's when you get nervous because you didn't prepare for that. So a native speaker can, if he comes to your office, for example, to work, he may ask you the most random things, like about the weather, about your country, about holidays, about people, about places to go. So you need to be able to feel comfortable talking about this. Once I had this student, she took me to the kitchen in her office and she said, hey, can you teach me how to explain someone how to use the espresso machine? Because I don't know how to do this. And I'm worried that there will be many native speakers coming to my office and I don't know how to explain them how to use the espresso machine. If they have a problem with the machine, where they put the things, and I don't know. Now, she was a beginner, okay, but what if this happened to you? Would you know how to explain it? Quite honestly, I don't know all the words in the espresso machine. I can barely make coffee. Yeah, I suck at cooking. Like, once I was at a friend's house and I made coffee, and here in Brazil we have the habit of already adding the sugar. I added salt. Yeah, very yummy coffee. This could happen, so prepare yourself for specific conversations. Don't talk only about the things you like. Talk about the things you dislike too. And finally, the last why, the listening. Oh boy, do they speak fast. My goal is to make you understand me, okay? I want you to understand me, okay? I try really hard to be as clear as I can be. Not the native speaker. He doesn't really care. And I'm not saying this as a negative comment, okay? It's not like, oh, they don't like us. No, they don't worry about that. Just like you don't worry about that either when you are speaking your language. And let's think about the opposite situation. Think about your country. Some people in your country speak very fast. Sometimes it's difficult to understand them. While other people speak very slowly. They're so slow when they're speaking that you feel like, oh my god, just finish the word. Yes, finish the sentence. The same happens to native speakers. Some people speak faster than others. It's their nature. It's part of who they are. Whether the native speaker speaks slowly or not depends highly on where he's from. If you listen to someone from Texas in the US and you listen to someone from Massachusetts, whoa, it's so different. For me, it was always difficult when I had to talk to someone from Texas. With time, I got used to talking to them, but every now and then there's a word they say and I'm like, okay, what did you say? And it's normal, guys. I used it to get nervous too, but then I realized that when I got nervous, I couldn't speak, and I wanted to communicate. So I started to controlling my emotions, to managing this anxiety, okay? So how can you understand these fast speakers? Practice makes perfect, guys. There's no secret recipe. You need to listen to a variety of speakers from all over the world in order to improve your listening skills. I like to watch the news. I like to watch videos on the internet, and I look for different people from different regions so that I can listen to these different accents. The real challenge here is the accent. The accent may be a little bit different, and therefore I will not understand. That is something that you can work on by listening to a variety of different audios. I sometimes watch Old West movies because then I can listen to a very different accent, which is hard. It's the way I found that I can practice listening to different accents, to different pronunciation. All in all, guys, speaking in public is a challenge, regardless of the language. If you notice you struggle with speaking to native speakers, try to analyze what was more difficult. You couldn't find the words, you couldn't understand the words they said, because not understanding the words they said could be because of vocabulary and listening. So if you understood what he said but you don't know the meaning of the word, it's useless, pointless. Question: how do you usually feel when you talk to a native speaker? Let me know in the comments, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like my video. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.